জয় গিরিবরধারী জয় যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ জনরঞ্জন যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ জনরঞ্জন যমুনা তীর বনচারী জয় রাধা মাধব জয় কুঞ্জ বিহারী হরে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে জয় রাধা গিরিধারী রাধে জয় লড্ডু গোপাল জয় লড্ডু গোপাল জয় লড্ডু গোপাল জয় লড্ডু গোপাল জয় গৌরানিতাই জয় গৌরানিতাই জয় গৌরানিতাই জয় গৌরানিতাই জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় গুরুদেব 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 জয় জয় গুরুদেব নিতাই গৌরা হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌরা হরি বল জয় শ্রী রাধা গিরিধারী কি জয় শ্রীলা প্রভুপাদ কি জয় সমবেত ভক্তবৃন্দ কি জয় all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna I am sharing the screen of Prabhupada Lilamrita. Is it visible?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. This is Srila Prabhupada is requesting to everyone about the preaching his mission. In October, after Calcutta riots of 1947, Abhay wrote to the chairman of the Rehabilitation Committee, who replied, regarding Hari Kirtan and Prasadam, you may make any program of your own, but I am afraid I am not interested in the same, nor my committee, and therefore there is no necessity of your meeting with me. Abhay was fulfilling his role as a Vaishnava preacher, and the secretaries of the various government offices were recognizing and addressing him as such. But they could not appreciate his applications of the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and his suggestion for Hari Kirtana. Occasionally, however, someone seemed interested. Mr. N.P. Asthana, High Court advocate replied, I am very much obliged to you for your letter, your broad scheme about spiritual improvement. I thoroughly appreciate the fine feelings which have prompted you to write this letter and the kindness with which you have considered my query. I have been a student of Bhagavad Gita and have also imbibed some of its teachings, but I still lack of good deal and will be glad to be guided by a person of your accomplishment. You may kindly therefore send your scheme to me, on receipt of which I will be able to express my views. Here we can see some positive view. Okay, I am stopping here. Thank you. Before the Bhagavatam starts, today's verse, I am praying. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritta Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashta Prayesha Bhadresha Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Is it visible, Mataji?
Yeah, we can see that.
Thank you. Just I am starting now. तन्माययाद्ध ईश खण्डितो जद अन्नदाशस्तरितात्मनो अबुध यथाचरेद् बालहितं पिता स्वयं तथा तमैव हर्षि न समीहितुम् तन्माययाद्ध ईश खण्डितो जद आनन्दशास्त्रितत्मनो अबुध यथाचरेद् बालहितं पिताशयं तथा तमैव हर्षि न समीहितुम् तन्माययाद्ध ईश खण्डितो जद अन्नदाशस्तरितत्मनो अबुध यथाचरेद् बालहितं पिताशयं तथा तमेव हर्षि न समीहितुम्. Hare Krishna, someone would like to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, go ahead.
Tvanmaya yatta janaisha khandito yadannat ashastaritamano ritatmano buddhaya yata chared balahitam pitasvaham tata tvam eva harshina samitam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Can anyone read the synonyms, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Tvat your Mayaya by illusory energy. Adha certainly Janaha the people in general. Isha, O my Lord. Khanditaha separated. Yat because. Anyat other. Ashaste they desire. Rita real. Atmanaha from the self. Abudha without proper understanding. Yatha as. Charet would engage in. Bala hitam the welfare of one's child. Pita the father. Swayam personally. Tatha similarly. Tvam your leadership. Eva certainly. Arhasi naha samhitam. Please act on my behalf.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Mr.
Krishna. Would
Thank you.
like to someone read the translation?
Hare Krishna. Translation
Prabhu.
by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you, but as a father, not waiting for one son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son. Please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Parput would like to read someone.
I'll try, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is the duty of the son to depend on the father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and Lord takes charge of him, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. The father knows the necessities of the son and supplies them. And the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Ishopanishad states that everything in this material world is complete. Purnam idam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in material activities. The result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life. I should continue, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Before us, there are varieties of living entities, and everyone is entangled in transmigrations and activities. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and let him take charge, for he knows what is good for us. Prithu Maharaj therefore tells the Lord that as the Supreme Father, he may elect to bestow whatever he considers beneficial for Prithu Maharaj. That is the perfect position of the living entity. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches in the Shikshashtaka, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktir ahituki tvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I have any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. The conclusion is that the pure devotee should not aspire for any material benefit from the devotional service, nor should be enamored by fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. It's very nice purport. Okay. Before I discuss this wonderful verse, just I'm taking the blessings from Guru and all of you Vaishnava. Om Agyanang Timirang Dhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurimlitam Jena Tatmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandehang Sri Gurung Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Gurung Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Rubhanatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvadhaitam Shabadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitangsto He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpataru Fascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktabindo Namong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swamin Iti Namine Shubhracheto Supraneto Bhagminam Charasaplutam Prabhupada Gata Prana Namami Bhakti Charu Padam Namong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanto Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pastato Desatarini Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is very nice that slok, and just I'm sharing. I have made the PowerPoint for this. Is visible, right? Hare Krishna, is it visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Just recap that this is that Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena. This is Canto 4 and chapter 20, verse number 31. This Lord Vishnu has appeared in sacrificial arena of Prithu Maharaj. Actually, it's a major event that Lord Vishnu doesn't go to all sacrifices. He is very pleased with Prithu Maharaj's qualities. Prithu Maharaj heard Lord Brahma's instruction and obeyed Lord Brahma's instruction and decided to follow by stopping the sacrifice, although Prithu was not any fault at all. This is actually particular obedience is very important and significant for us as well, for all devotees, and Prithu Maharaj as well. So Vishnu also reciprocate with his obedience, which is out of ordinary. He came for a short duration of time, but extended his stay because he is very pleased with Prithu Maharaj. So you can see the picture, you know, how Prithu Maharaj, how Lord Vishnu, his feet above the land, but he extended his stay. He touched the ground. That text 1 and 2, just I'm recapping to remind myself, and also that day Sri Krishna Prabhu was also telling nicely to remember us that text 1 and 2, Vishnu is telling Prithu Maharaj why he is here with Indra and purpose of his visit, and request Prithu Maharaj to forgive Indra. And text 3 to 12, it's a good qualities of human being. So what should be the qualities? So our quality should be that eager to perform welfare activities and following the instructions, and also our intelligence should be in advance. So Prithu Maharaj is having same both qualities, and Vishnu is giving instructions what's the duty of king in means of connection to the Lord in text 13, 14, 15. And text 16, Vishnu impressed by his two qualities, two aspects. The first one is elevated qualities that he heard from the Lord Brahma, which is exhibited. And next is excellent behavior. That behavior is he forgive to Lord Indra. So seeing this quality, he touched the lotus feet on the ground and talked to Prithu Maharaj comfortably. And after that, Lord Vishnu asked Prithu Maharaj for any benediction he likes. After listening this, Prithu Maharaj is full of ecstasy, tears on his eyes, voice faltering, and choked up, full ecstasy for love of Lord Vishnu. And he's telling, I do not want anything. I know you can give everything as you are husband of Lakshmi Devi. You are the giver of highest benediction. So why I will ask for shorter thing like material happiness, positions, powers, high post, wealth, good family, which is available for animals also. Just give me benedictions. What benedictions he asks? Million of years. So same Rupa Goswami also asked million of years, million of tongues to glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, thank you.
Hear and chant.
Yes, so this is meaningful prayers from 23 to 31, and this is the 31, the last one, to Lord from Prithu Maharaj. And we are seeing how Prithu Maharaj is moved. This is very important. And this is moved behind the glorification of Prithu Maharaj. So I divided that sloka in two parts, and like, you know, the relationship with Krishna. I'm going to the next slide. So relations with Krishna with 2 points. The reason we are not peaceful and really happy is because we are separated from Krishna. So reason behind that, why we are not happy and why we are not peaceful. Can you tell why we are not peaceful and we are not happy? Anybody, any answer? Because we are Khandita. Yeah, tell Prabhu. Yeah.
Because we see ourselves separate from the Lord, and we don't recognize that He is the supreme well-wisher of our supreme well-wisher.
Yeah, thank you. And we choose to be independent. Yes, yeah, thank you. And so this is the one part, and in this part we put that the best and easiest way to connect with Krishna, to pray to the Lord that please do not ask me to take material benefits from you. So I will go by one. The first I will be discussing the separation from Krishna. Prithu Maharaj points out in this verse that we are not peaceful, we are not really happiness, because we are Khandita. So because we are Khandita, and that we choose to be independent, and we choose to be independent because we have forgotten our real constitutional position. That's why Bhagavatam says Canto 6, 9.25, where devotas are praying to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created us by his external potency and by whose mercy who expand the creation of the universe, is always situated before us as the super soul. But we cannot see his form. We are unable to see him because all of us think that we are separate and independent gods. This is, devotas are praying in this verse. that Krishna, you are the only one. You are so kind. Actually, you are the only one who is creating this universe, and yet out of your causeless mercy, you have given us the potency. As we look like we are the controllers, we are the creators of the material universe, then we think we become little mini gods. Yes, so to speak, but because we think we have become more powerful, and that's why we actually do not realize that his form, that illusionary energy that yesterday Himan Prabhu was discussing, we are like in cinema. We are acting like that as per the emotion. So our tendency like that, like we can create, we are more powerful. Our tendency as that we are actually independent. And Srila Prabhupada also writes in the first line of this purport in this sloka that Bhagavatam SB, this is in that 6.9.25, that he has written. Here is an explanation of why the conditioned soul cannot see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Because conditioned soul cannot understand him. Abhajanati mamura manushyantanum asritam. The demigods also themselves admit in the verse that reason why, despite the fact you have given so much, we still cannot approach you as an account of our mentality that we are separate. Just like, we are seeing, and we are seeing now, this is coming like generation after generation, like one son, once the son that thinks that is separate from father, that son thinks he is more powerful. The natural tendency for a son who thinks, I know better than father is that I have my own world. I can do my own things. I can grow. I do not need father. Father is old fashioned. Mother is old fashioned. I have my own world. So when actually it's for us as well. We are having same mentality. When we were young and we saw our father thinking that he is our only hero when we are young. But when we went to school and met friends, what we thought? That friends are better than our fathers and they are the heroes. Then when we went to the school, what we saw? The teachers is no much better than father. I remember I used to ask my kids teacher that they listens more from us. So just advise them, just guide them. So it's happened with everyone. And when we got older, we thought father is outdated. He doesn't know things. He doesn't know that he is not keeping with the timings. He is speaking always of those days, and those days are not here. Now we are married and we are having children. We begin to think father used to say this, father used to say that. But foolishly, I used to think I know better than father. And now our children are telling the same thing, that you are outdated. You do not know anything. And this is very easy for us to understand because Bhagavatam is so practical that it brings us the examples that we can see immediately. Every one of us either has been a father or mother, or will be a father, or he has a father. So how many of us can escape from this? We will know our fathers had been our well-wisher, and very often we go out there and try to do something of our own. That is our independence. That is our illusion. Actually, our fathers know our demands and they know our nature much better than we would care to admit. So the same way, Prithu Maharaj is saying this prayer, because we have thought we are independent, therefore we cannot see Krishna. So now, how we can see Krishna? How we can develop the relationship with Krishna? So if we would like to see Krishna, if we want to have darshan of Krishna, first thing we must start to do is to completely depend on Krishna. That day before yesterday, Sri Krishna is Prabhu also telling how we can see darshan of Krishna. He was giving three aspects. One is devoted completely sadhu shastra guru and following their instructions and forgive and forget. That is the key. Same way here also. If we want to have darshan, the first thing we must start to do is to completely depend on Krishna. So complete dependence on Krishna, at this point I can tell we have to always remember that avashya rakshibe Krishna vishwasya palan. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tomar. Our mood should be like that. And we have to lose our independence. And losing independence in this material world, actually bad word, but losing independence in the spiritual world is, is meaningful, is very nice. This Khandita is keeping us from seeing Krishna. We think that we are seeing Krishna and so we are have Sri Darshan. But we can see Krishna when our eyes are that are seeing Krishna are not anointed with submission and love. Then that saying is superficial. That's why we have to devote. We have to intend what Guru Sadhu Shastra is telling. That is why also two words are there in Sanskrit. One is darshan and one is ikshanam. Darshan means just to see, and ikshanam means actually you are taking audience of Krishna. That means you are invited Krishna in our life, in his life, and every stage of his life, we are trying to see the hand of Krishna. This is the mood of a great devotee. And the advantage of one who does not want to be separated from Krishna is that he becomes peaceful. That is the key. We should not separate it. We should not be Khandita. So Srimad, and also one point I can tell, when we can take darshan, we should be being in line with Krishna. Means whatever he is telling, we have to listen. Just Narad Muni advises in that to the Vyasdev. And so we can see that Krishna in our life, one is complete dependence to Krishna that I discussed, and being in line with Krishna. So being in line with Krishna, that anyone would like to read the translation of that 1.5.14, where Narad Muni advises to Vyasdev.
Oh yeah, Hare Krishna. Whatever you desire to describe, that is separate in vision from the Lord, simply reacts with different forms and names and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat, which has no resting place. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Srila Vyasdev, he has described transcendental realization in different ways. Namely by fruitive activities, speculative knowledge, mystic power, and devotional service. Actually, we are all disturbed about finding the real path of self-realization. Vyasdev, he is trying to emphasize describing everything in relation with the Supreme Lord and no one else. And that is the allurement. Means Veda is giving so many karma kanda, so many things. We are puzzled sometimes. But maximum times, those who are material people, we are seeing them, and by the Lord's of mercy, by the Srila Prabhupada mercy, we can understand what is the allurement and what is the real goal of our life. The Lord is manifested in different expansions, but we should remember that Vyasdev is telling, he is the root of the complete tree, he is the stomach of the complete body. Pouring water on the root is the right process to water his tree. As much as feeding the stomach supplies energy of all parts of the body. Srila Prabhupada also telling so many times, our hands and our legs, our mouth, what's the work? They all together feeding to the stomach to get the energy. This verse tells very nicely that if we don't want to be disturbed, then whatever vision that Krishna has, we have to follow according to that vision. That is the key. And also, Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Mamekam Swaranam Braja. So whenever devotees become disturbed, please, there is no one to blame, because we are not aligned with the Krishna. And we cannot blame anyone. Don't blame your boss, means don't blame your family, don't blame your children, because we are not in line with the Krishna. So being in line with Krishna, so we will never be alone. Krishna means Krishna and his devotees, means Sadhu Shastra Guru. So to the extent we are with Krishna and the devotees, Bhagavatam tells us that we will not be separated. This Khandita will not be there. But the moment we think that our thinking is different from Krishna's thinking, that we are in trouble. That is why Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport so nicely, that frankly speaking, Krishna is taking care of everything. Ek bahunam ye vedadhati kaman. The one supreme being, kings, Krishna maintains everyone. There is nothing that we have to take care of. Whatever we lack, Krishna has given, and whatever we have, Krishna will preserve. Jagushemam vahammi aham. The only thing is whether we can qualify to have this anannas chintayanto mam, means worshipping Krishna with exclusive devotion, intense devotion by heart. That is only fact that is with our hands, everything else in Krishna's hands. We are seeing, Krishna is giving us free food, giving us free oxygen, lodging, free air. But all the animals, what they are fully dependent on Krishna. But sometimes when we can do our thing, we become proud that we are doing very nice. That time the problem comes. So that time we think we are not dependent on Krishna. So if we depend on Krishna fully, so why problems come? Why will still disturb in devotional service? To this point, we always remember, and this is very important for us to remember. So that's why Narad Muni is telling to Vyasdev. Now I can go for that same point for part 1, not to run material happiness, to see Krishna in our life. This is continue. This is here actually Prithu Maharaj is telling in Bhagavatam in the purport that the thing that separates me from you is when I become too much attached to society, friendship, and love. These are the 3 things that everybody is looking out for, but they don't realize that by running after these material items, they don't become happy. Prahlad Maharaj saying in the Canto 7, Dukha aushadham tad abhi dukham. Dukha aushadham tad abhi dukham. Means remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Prahlad Maharaj makes a very wonderful observation that any time we try to run after material happiness, we do not realize that an equal and if not more material misery or just coming next door. So that is the problem. We become more worse than the problem itself. We are not solving the problem. We are inviting the problem. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 7.742, Prahlad Maharaj saying. Someone would like to read this sloka, please? And with the translation.
I'll try, Mataji.
Yes, please.
Sukhaya dukkha mokshaya sankalpa iha karminaha sadapnoti ya dukkham anihaya sukhavritaha.
Yeah,
in this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminish his distress, and therefore he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress begin. Thank you, Mataji.
So true, isn't it? The verse actually we should remember, because why? Prahlad Maharaj makes a very, very important observation in this material world. Even materialistic in this world desires to achieve material happiness, and frankly speaking, we also have come to Krishna consciousness because we want to find some happiness. And yeah, there is actually nothing wrong in trying to find happiness. And Bhagavatam tells us that there are only the two kinds of people that does not want happiness. Do you know who are the two people? Those who don't want happiness. One is madman and other one is dead man. So they don't want the happiness, but all we want the happiness. So everybody wants happiness. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying in this sloka, as long as we do not endeavor for material happiness, we are happy. As long as we do not desire to run after material happiness, up to that time, we are actually happy. Which means that the moment we begin our activities for happiness, Bhagavatam tells us that day our conditions of distress begin. That is the secret. So I will tell you, there was on a story from Shastra, there is one Brahman who wanted to go for pilgrimage yatra. So he started his journey to going up the hill, because the temple was top of the hill. So he is going and he's praying to Lord Ramchandra. Oh, my dear Lord, it is very difficult to climb up and I am very tired. So please help me, my Lord. So try and find something way so that I don't have to climb. I don't want to have go by step. So please arrange some transport for me. So Krishna is very kind. So before the Brahmana made a turn, suddenly the Brahmana saw a merchant bringing a horse. The merchant was not seated on the horse, but was bringing the horse with him. And the merchant looked at the Brahman and said, my dear Brahman, you must be tired. So perhaps it will be better if you can take this horse and then you can go up and go to top of the hill and to the temple. Brahman said, oh, Krishna is very kind. I asked and he is immediately given. So he thanked the merchant and took the horse. And as he was going just 100 meters, hardly 100 meters he has moved, suddenly the horse stopped and refused to move. So the Brahman actually then got down. There is no way to go up, and thought, why is the horse is not moving? How am I to make it move? Then he realized and he looked closely that the horse was not a male horse, but a female one. And it was just about to give birth. That is why merchant was offloading the horse. Merchant knows his business. The Brahmana thought that the merchant was very kind, but the merchant has had another idea in his mind. So now what to do? Then this is thinking like this, and that in this time the female horse gave birth and there was a baby horse. And no mother refused to move, because the mother means without child, the mother cannot move. So the female horse also does not want to move. So the Brahmana was thinking, how do I get the horse to move so that I can get on the horse and eventually go on the yatra? Thinking and thinking, he decided to carry the baby and walk in front of the mother. The mother will look at the baby and start walking. And the mother starts walking and we can achieve some aim. So that is the thinking of the Brahmana. So he carries the baby and walks a few meters, and what happens? The horse moves automatically, and Brahmana becomes very happy. And oh, the horse is moving now. And he moves like this all the way till the end of the jatra. And the end, He stops and puts down the baby horse, and the Brahmana thinks. Then what he's thinking? I started the pilgrimage to see the Lord. And half the way through, I decided little bit of material happiness and comfort won't hurt. That material happiness and comfort came to the form of the horse. But instead of solving my problem, it added to my problem. Foolishly, I did not remember Krishna on the way in the yatra. I was thinking about the horse, how she will move. Forgetting the solution was actually to take darshan of the Lord, and at the end, I was not only walking alone, and all the way up, I had the added burden of carrying the another one baby horse. So this is our life. So that we do. We are trying to solve the problem, and misery starts from that time. This is our foolishness of our all living conditions, that we complicate our life so much to that point that instead of actually remembering the goal. So the friendship, love, and society, they are helped to the extent they are used in the service of the Krishna. But that important thing, we should ask ourselves, how am I seeing the hand of Krishna in my life? How have I included Krishna in my life? And not now. I have been separated from Krishna. So when we are separate from Krishna, that all material miseries will start. So this is very important here. We should be very careful not to separate ourselves from Krishna. So this is the first part. We will not separate ourselves from Krishna. Now, second part, I'll discuss about that. Let Krishna to take charge. That Krishna is taking charge. So when Krishna will take charge to us, this is actually easiest way and best way to surrender to Lord and to fully surrender to Lord. Here also Prithu Maharaj is telling, is a beautiful prayer. Please do not ask me to take material benefit from you when the Lord Vishnu is asking for his benediction. He is praying very hard for it. Please do not ask me to take material benefit for you. Also Sukdev Goswami, Srimad Bhagavatam, 0.2, 3.10 is telling, means whatever our wish, we should go to Krishna. We should not go to anywhere. Akama sharva kamo ba moksha kamo udaro diha tibrena bhakti yogena jajeta purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he will be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of Godhead. Actually, if we have a desire, I should ask Krishna. Not we should go to our uncle, we should go to our father. This is that we can develop our relationship with Lord Krishna. So uncles will confuse us, but father is only one. We should always be with father. And we must respect them. And uncles can never become father. And father should not be demoted to become an uncle. This is the relationship with us, Krishna, and with us. If we have that mood, that we should slowly, as time goes, absorb the mood of Prithu Maharaj, because how long we are going to ask Krishna for the material things? Nowadays, we are also seeing ourselves. We are not asking for material things. We are asking for spiritual progress of our life. When we know that actually the material things don't bring us happiness, we don't ask to Krishna. So when when we want Krishna to take charge, we should realize the following. What we should realize that three results of being engaged in Krishna service. We realize that one. So this is the slokas that's about telling, and we realize three things. Whenever anyone would like to read this one? 4:30-35. Okay, I'm reading the translation. Whenever the pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. So nicely, when we are aligned with Krishna and when we are giving the charge to Krishna, so we realize there is no material hankering. Whatever hankering we have, they are outside the door. So means what that? We may be hungry of prasadam, but that is acceptable. Apart from that, nothing else is there. So, and next point, we can see we are not envious each other. Because when we are listening Bhagavatam, we are not envious of each other. We are doing service for Krishna because we have no time to be envious. And but if we go to the wedding function, what we see, everybody is looking each other, how nicely he's dressed. Nobody is looking, they are asking for something, that material things. But when we gather, we all devotees gather, we're not looking each other like that, who has dressed up nicely, who has done makeup and things. Everybody is concentrating on Krishna Katha. So the point is, when we are with Krishna, there is no envy. Then other one is, when we are with Krishna, we realize there is no fear, no udveg. In this sloka is telling. Otherwise, every day in this material world, our constant companion is fear. Fear that something will happen, and fear that we will lose something. This is our udveg. That is our udvigna. But when we come to Krishna consciousness, we realize our udveg is decreasing. There is no fear. And also, when also we realize this is unmotivated devotional service. This is, unmotivated devotional service leads to uninterrupted devotional service. Now I'm going to discuss about that unmotivated devotional service. So unmotivated devotional service, we know that anna abhilasata sunnam gyana karmadi anavritam. So actually, the devotees must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. If we really want to take this wonderful prayer, this is 31 that Prithu Maharaj is offering to Lord, then always we remember, Krishna, you please arrange in such a way that I will not ask any material benefits from you. We may not have the strength, but Krishna wants, he can give us the strength. If Guru wants, he can give us the strength. All we should do is Mam Ichhaptum Dhananjaya. We should desire, nothing in our hands. The only thing Krishna has given us is the aspect of desire. It is only up to us to desire. Let me not ask anything material. Let me be always like an obedient son or daughter, always leaving it to the Father. That is the ahituki apratihata is very important here. To the extent our motive is only to glorify Krishna, that Krishna will always arrange that we perform continuous devotional service. To the extent that we have a motive other than glorifying Krishna, we find always there is a disruption in devotional life. Our minds will give some excuse that, oh, I will not come from the program. I have done this one, I have done that one. Let me apply for leave from Bhakti. So when we think that, then we we will not with Krishna, will feel difficult. So next we'll see that also Chitraketu Maharaj is praying this one, that Bhagavatam Canto 6 and 16 and 46. Would like to read anyone the translation?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. O unlimited supreme pursuit of Godhead, whatever a living entity does in this material world is well known to you because you are the super soul. In the presence of the sun, there is nothing to be revealed by the light of a glowworm. Similarly, because you know everything, in your presence there is nothing for me to make known.
So nice. Yeah, he knows everything. He's omniscient. It's a very graphic image here Bhagavatam is giving us. In the presence of the sun, what light can a glowworm give? In the night, glowworms give nice light. But in the presence of the sun, the glowworms loses the potency. Same way, he says, because you know everything, Krishna, nothing to be made known. This should be our mood. He knows everything. He can see everything. This is our mood, also my mood. Every time we should remember. And then our main aim should be glorify to the Lord. Whenever we come before Krishna, our mood should be glorify, and glorify through parampara. So the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system. Yesterday, Himan Prabhu is also telling, he was telling that he always remember in the morning in this prayer from Canto 10, 1-4, that is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is released by those no longer interested in the false. Temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Description of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul. Undergoing repeated birth and death, therefore we will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self. Also we are observing and we are praying daily, Shinnatam Shakatha Krishna Punna Sravana Kirtana. And also then result is Nashta Prayasha Abhadreshu. Panittam Bhagavata Shevaya. Means when we glorify Lord and when we read daily Bhagavatam, that our Nashta Prayasha Abhadreshu, all material misery finished. And that is the only reason we come to the program, isn't it? And we glorify the Krishna. Let me please have the desire that someday, somehow, I should become an instrument only to glorify you, that Prithu Maharaj is praying to Lord Krishna. So glorifying the Father becomes much more pleased because he knows we are sincere to understand his greatness. That is all we should be doing, nothing else. And if we, this is also means glorify to Lord through parampara, with our parampara from spiritual master, then Srila Prabhupada, then all parampara, then it goes to Lord Krishna. Then if we cannot glorify to Lord Krishna, we cannot glorify to Krishna, but we can pleasures to in others who is glorifying the Krishna. This is also a nice point that Kunti Maharaj is praying in that prayer, that Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, 836. Srinnanti gayanti grinanti abhiksanasa smaranti nandanti tabe hitam janaha te eva pashyanti achirena tabakam bhava prabho paramam padam bhujam. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasures in others doing so certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. So Kunti Mata tells also that real solution to absorb Prithu Maharaj's prayer, the automatic way not to be separated from Krishna is to continuously hear about Krishna, continuously chant about Krishna, and continuously repeat Krishna's glories and other devotees' glories. If we can't do all these, at least we should become Nandanti, means take pleasures in others repeating Krishna's glories. When someone is doing very nice in devotional service, then our mood should be, I am inspired, by your devotional service. We should glorify. So take pleasure, Nandanti, in others' devotional service. In that way, we become peaceful. When we do that, what do we see? We see Krishna's lotus feet. And how do we see it? By Krishna's mercy. Because Father knows what is best for the son. Father will give darshan with the son is ready to perform glorification of Father. And when we see Krishna's lotus feet, what the result? The Bhagavatam tells us that it stops the repetition of birth and death. And once it stops our being born and our dying, then our happiness with our eternal fathers becomes eternal. We can see the Krishna. So this is my that realization and my notes. So just summarize. And the first part one is that relationship with Krishna and why we are not peaceful and why we are not happy, because we are Khandita. And best and easiest way to connect with Krishna, to line with Krishna, and also do not ask for material benefits. And it should be complete dependence with Krishna and with line with Krishna. It is part one. Then part two is let Krishna to take charge. And while taking charge, Krishna, and we realize the 3 points: no envious, and we forget the material hankering, and we don't feel anxiety. We feel peaceful. And when we realize also, we feel then this is unmotivated devotional service. This leads to uninterrupted devotional service, which has been told tells also that 6th Ashtam, that na dhanam na janam na sundarim kabitam bajagadish kamaye mama janmani janmanishare bhavatad bhaktir ahituki tui. That will uninterrupted devotional service will come. And our main aim should be glorified to Lord. And also we should take pleasure in others doing devotional service, Nandanti. So in that way, we can see the Krishna's lotus feet and we will achieve our goal. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Is any questions or any comments? Please do so. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandapana. Very
Hare
good.
Krishna.
Surcharge in the chilly winter. Very good subject that you started right from the beginning. Yes, here that verse is so warming and tells us to become warm, not to be iced during this very cold winter. So it is only possible to become heated up when we just remember Lord. The 4 points you mentioned here, and that is the real occupation in our everyday life. Being in the service of the Lord, and in the service should be uninterrupted and unmotivated, and always chant and glorify the Lord to his pastimes. And lastly, if you can't do it fully, at least you glorify others and take the pleasure out of it. If you follow all these things, you will be happy at the end. And the examples of how we get more and more entangled to take pleasure or to take benefit. And the example of horse, we try to become happy, but ultimately we add garbages of unhappiness, and that leads to ultimately so much of trouble. So we need to be very, very careful and understanding, how to be happy by not by ourselves, only through the mercy of the Lord. Just as the lastly you showed, the mercy comes in the form of the lotus feet. You can see the lotus feet only through His mercy, not by your own effort. That's why Srila Prabhupada instrumented the whole system of our devotional service. In the morning, you do the puja archana, and after that, you read Bhagavatam. So once you read the Bhagavatam, you go out for your activities throughout the day. You become again engaged in the material activities. But in the evening, when you come back, you become surcharged with the study of Bhagavad Gita. So in short, you become engaged, disengaged, again engaged. So the cycle goes on, and you are always connected through these activities to the Lord, and you become happy. And when you complete this circle every day, nothing to worry. Krishna will take charge and give all the blessing in the form is showing His lotus feet. And that is the connection we get through this text 31. This is how Prithu Maharaj giving us the teaching. You don't need to ask for anything. Everything will be done by the mercy of the Lord. Only you have to keep engaged in the service of the Lord. The rest will follow accordingly. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. You nicely summarized. Thank you. Yeah, we have to, remember, we have to be like sandwich, morning, evening, and afternoon. Yes, thank you. Any comments? Any other?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very, very nice class. So many nice takeaway points from today to think about during the day. I like the some things, it made me think. It was very nice that if you want uninterrupted devotional service, you have to do unmotivated. Only then you can get uninterrupted. That was a very nice takeaway for me. And I like the example of the horse and the Brahmana, how we bring troubles into our own lives. We want to solve a problem and we end up making it more complicated. So that was also very nice. Thank you very much for sharing all these thoughts and realizations. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful realizations, especially the references from the various shlokas. It was very, very relevant and very insightful, especially that shloka from Prahlad Maharaj, where he is saying that the moment we start running after happiness, the trouble starts. So, and it was, and also the other one, what Tulsi Sevya mentioned, like why my service is not continuously getting interrupted, because I have so many motivations. So obviously I cannot do interrupted service. So yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. And of course, your most beautiful slides was so nice. Like all the content of the slides, Mataji. And Mataji, just wanted to understand from you that like in terms of constantly being connected to Krishna, the moment our problem starts only when I'm separated. My problems are there because I'm separated from Krishna. Kandita, you mentioned. So how to ensure that morning, very nice, we have this Bhagavatam class to inspire us and keep us in this path. But towards the evening, towards the middle of the day, and as I go to the evening, I tend to stray, and I tend to like the top part of the sandwich is not there. so I just wanted any guidance or tips from you in terms of maintaining that protection on either side. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's happened with us as well, Prabhu. But it's a Srila Prabhupada's instruction. If we do like that way in the morning Bhagavatam class, and whatever we are working, we remembering, and if you cannot remember, at least when you are earning, give the money to the temple, to the Lord, and in the evening that Bhagavad Gita. It's happened with me as well. I cannot sometimes in the evening after coming back home, I cannot read, just means nodding my heads. But if we do like that, surely that we will not be separated from Krishna. And I think all devotees also are realizing when we are doing all activities, it's dreams come in the mind, and we are doing some program and we have to do the garlands. And oh, time is going up, I have to do things. Yeah, it's come in the mind. I think you all realize these things. So we have to try our best. We have to try our best as per Srila Prabhupada's instruction.
Thank
Then we will not be disturbed, but we are disturbed in this moment, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yeah, if no other questions or comments, we can end of this class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna.
Her Grace Sita Anandini Mataji ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Very, very good.